Alan, how's your nerves at the end of that?
I felt the second half, obviously we controlled the game really well. There was the drama right to the end and beyond, but yeah, fortunately we stole the line out and killed the game off. There's a little bit of uncertainty there. It happens. I thought Ben Whitehouse refereed the game well, to be fair.
Thankful for the extra platform those drop goals have given you then?
Yeah, one of them was on a penalty advantage, in fairness. So, but all credit to Sam Davies, the fact that he has the wherewithal and the technical ability as well as the tactical knowledge to slot those over. It's derby football. The Scarlets haven't been where they've got to without going on great runs, been hard to beat, and all credit to them. I thought they showed why they've got to semi-finals, finals, won Pro 14s. But as I said before the game, we feel we're a team on the way up, and they've set the standard. Today is another step on that journey.
There's a bit of a kick fest in the first half. Second half, did you say much at the end of it to turn things around? Because the momentum did seem to switch in the second half, didn't it? Yeah,
and you could see, probably with the Scarlet selection, they came with a clear game plan. They haven't been on a particularly good run. As a result of that, they took us on up front. They did the simple things well. They put pressure on our backfield. They lived off some of our indiscretions, needless indiscretions, and penalties that we give away. The second half we tidied that up. I thought there was a big swing in the scrum and how we scrummed in the second half. We knew at half time that Tom Bofa was on a yellow card. And it's good mental toughness from him and the other 7 that we started to get some supremacy there. We look at some of the interpretations around that. I felt some of them were 50-50 at best, but yeah, second half for us it was sticking to script. We felt there was space in the backfield and we boxed them in. We felt we were physically and mentally fresh, and the boys really targeted this game, and you could see what it meant to them at the end, and everybody associated with the Ospreys. I'm delighted for them.
Well, there were two ends to the game, really. The one when the stadium clock was at 80, Sam Davies kicked it off, and everyone thought that was it. But there was another line out. What went on there?
I was listening through the ref's mic. It was quite a conversation through the game from touchies and the ref, but it was clear that I heard him say that the stadium clock's incorrect, but with respect, you're in the heat of the moment, understanding the derby football. Everybody's wrecked both sides of the ball. If one player hears it, doesn't mean everyone's heard it. It's obviously something we need to look to. Fortunately, it won't be a headline, and we were able to have a defensive resolve to shut the game out.
Word about Luke Morgan's opportunism for the only try of the game?
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of fortune in it. He probably had a better opportunity in the first half, but how he finished was exceptional. And you got to live off scraps at times. Plenty of teams in the world have. Probably in the first half, we weren't the right side of that ledger with regards to the scraps and the tap downs. Second half, I felt we were much more hungry. Our enthusiasm and our physicality was right where it needs to be.
Probably makes it a more cheerful Christmas for your supporters now and players.
There's definitely no probably about it. For me, I hadn't thought about Christmas until we got to the back end of today, so I'm sure for everybody's family. I know my in-laws and my kids are over, so it'll be a happy father and happy Ospreys fans.
And a quick word about next week's match up at the Dragons. How do you see that one?
To be honest, we just said in the changing room we're going to live this moment. It's been a while. It's been 2.5 years since we've beaten them. We'll come in on Christmas Eve and start working towards the Dragons. But as I said, it's part of the journey. It's 1 out of 3. We've got to go away now up to Newport, and you saw what it means to them last night. They've had a good response, so we knew we probably have to be better than today, but also show some of the elements, the character. Ultimately, our line wasn't crossed today. And our last defensive set when Owen Watkins gets the turnover, the penalty underneath our post, is all defining for me. And
the layout of the fixtures this winter, it's 3 in 3 weeks rather than 3 in 2 weeks over the festive period. Does that make it easier in terms of selection, or are you going to have to rotate things anyway?
No, we'll go. We'll look at our bodies week on week. Our boys have been well looked after. As I said, they're physically fresh and they're mentally fresh. and we've targeted these games. The beauty for the boys is that they not only get Christmas Day off, they also get Boxing Day off, and I want them to enjoy that time with their families.
Alan, that stadium clock incident should never be happening, no?
Not at this level of footy. You know, I'm not. It's not for me to comment on who's responsible for it or what the communication is between the officials and the stadium clock. But if there is an issue with the stadium clock, it should definitely be communicated to both teams prior to the last seconds of the game. So it could have been quite an anticlimax for us. It probably added to the flavour of winning.
The front row were under a lot of pressure. You seem to almost work it out as a whole pack, the sort of weight coming through from behind them to change their run.
For the second half? Yeah, in the first half we were sitting a little bit. I thought Scarlets were quite clever in their setup. We addressed our setup in the second half, and along with that world where you're holding on to each other, you don't have your hands to prop you up on the ground, you got to have the mentality to stick together. And you know, we definitely felt we should have had some scrum penalties in the second half. Ben felt the ball had come out. In the first half, he was giving penalties to the opposition in that regard. But you know, it showed what we're capable of. It shows the importance of the platform. You know, the scrum, the line-out. I thought our line-out was magnificent. Again, in the second half, we had 2 or 3 steals, and you know the work Bradley Davis has been doing with the boys there is fantastic.
And in terms of Luke Morgan's pace to get the try, you've got Keelan Giles as well. Who was the fastest in your squad?
It was definitely not me, but you know, you can't coach pace. Ian McGeegan used to say this, and he definitely wasn't speaking to me. But it is fundamental in those positions, and we targeted having players with pace and not finishing ability. But it also comes with confidence. It's having that, being ahead and anticipating. You know, it's anticipation to get through, then win the race, and then finish is exceptional.
Alan, you hoping to retain Sam Davis for next season? He's out of contract.
Oh yeah. Like we're having those conversations in January. We've probably, as a region, gone about our business in a way that we feel is correct, instead of getting out there early and you know, dealing with certain players and leaving others in limbo. We've decided everyone gets through Christmas and then we'll sit down with our players. On the back of his performance today, you'd be a fool not to be considering him for next season.
How pleased were you with his performance today?
I'm delighted with how he's developed. I think the work he's done with Matt Sherritt has been excellent. His understanding of the game, his ability to manage us around the field, connect with the forwards. A 10 for me should, you know, he's like the composer of the orchestra. He just moves us around the field. We've talked about his kicking game in the past, but you know, his ability to kick drop goals, his goal kicking, his ability to tackle down the first channel. He's unbelievably competitive and exceptionally brave. So it's not just about his flair on the ball. It's competitiveness as a whole.
Do you feel he's a better player than when he won his Wales caps 18 months to 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think the work he's done with Matt Sherritt has been fantastic, and as a result of that, you're seeing a much better attacking threat, square to the line, connecting with forwards, whether to play front line, play out the back. And I think his understanding of the game, what's strategically needed in those given moments, as you saw today, what was needed when, you know, it was a 3-ball game, when we were 9-6 down, when we were 3-0 down. He has the confidence and he has the knowledge to step up and deliver.